most of the times it can be very overwhelming and challenging to raise children in Europe. Knowing fully well that we Africans that are here, we don't really have extended families. Combining work, your husband work, the woman work, and family to take care of children, sometimes it could be very, very overwhelming. Most of you have sent me messages that I should talk about how to raise children in Europe, especially when one is studying, when one is working, and so many more. In today's video, I've chosen to talk about that. So if you're interested on such topic, please stay tuned. Like I always tell people, there's nothing like perfect parents, perfect marriage, perfect children. For me, there's nothing like that. It all depends on how you go about yours. I'm praying to God that God should please every of your efforts, that it should be fruitful. I've shared on this channel how I struggled with my first daughter when she was very, very tender before she get to the age that she is today. All the things I experienced with her and how I tried this and that before I was able to capture what works for her. One of the things you're going to do is try to know what works for you. What I'm explaining today might not work for you. It may work for you, but try to observe what really worked for you and those children. My daughter has been bullied so many times in the school by the fellow other students. And because here, when your child beats somebody in the school, you get a letter from the teacher inviting you to the school to caution the child to do that. But I don't really know what happens when your own child is bullied, because I have complained so many times until my daughter started standing for herself before it stopped. So one of the things that have helped me as a mom is past things that are built in the past. Let me put it that way. Okay, self-disciplined. Okay, so here children behave like adults. I don't know like any other person or any other parents, but my behave like adults. The two children I have at home, they talk like adults, they behave like adults. Though sometimes you could see some of their behaviors that will show you that they are children, but they behave so maturely. Okay, so for instance, for my daughter, you don't bully her with words. She will not listen to you. She will never listen to you. You don't trash her, you don't talk to her like if, or as if she's nothing. She will not listen to you. The respect you give to an adult as you're talking to that person is the respect I give to them. Yes, that's how mine work. Mine works in a way that I appeal to them. In an appealing way, I appeal to their conscience as I talk to them. And here, one of the things I'm going to warn or suggest for parents, you know, we are role models for these children. If you're telling a child not to do something, make sure that you are not doing it. If your husband is telling these children not to do something, make sure that he or him is not doing it. Okay? That is how my own works. Because my daughter will always tell you, Mama or Papa, you're saying I should not do that, but you're doing it. You can imagine a child. Okay? So I have built myself in a way that before I tell them anything, I make sure that I'm not doing that thing. And most of the times, you see them correcting me, I'll always accept that correction. Don't say that because you're a parent, you know more than your child. Listen to them. Have this listening ear. Listen to them when they talk. Give them attention. Okay? So the first point I have mentioned here is that I appeal to their conscience. That's what works for me. Like I've said, please try to identify what works for you. Then if you have a child that is extremely stubborn, please try and have a relationship with that child before you bring that child here. Because if you come here, you might face some challenges. This thing starts from school, what their fellow students tells them, what they hear Like my daughter came home one day and told me that she does not like her hair. She wants me to shave her hair. She wants me to shave it or palm it so that her hair will look straight. So it took me a lot of strength, a lot of wisdom to be able to convince her that she's not meant to be that way, that she's a black child, that the way she looks, that she looks beautiful. Another thing I want to bring into is how you treat these children at home matters a lot. Like I've said, what I did to my daughter that made her to start standing for herself is the way I treat her in the house. I respect my children, okay? I will not say that I pamper them, but I respect them. The way you treat them at home, the way you talk to them, the way you make them look, the way you dress them, the way, in fact, everything about them, their looks. I'm not saying you should go out of your way to kid your children, but the ones they have, make sure that it's neat. Make sure that you dress them with what fits them, what they feel comfortable on. Because this thing starts from when a child does not feel so secure of herself, of himself. When he gets to school, he starts feeling inferiority complex from where every other child is. So keep them up. Sometimes you have this, what they call it, when you're sewing clothes, even if you can buy a cloth today and when you wash it, you see that the cloth is already torn. I have like needles at home and different threads that I use to mend my children's clothes. So if you have such, identify it and mend it, okay? Make sure that you build the self-esteem of that child so that when he or she goes out, she can be able to fight and defend herself. Like my own children, that is what I succeeded in doing. I take care of what they eat. I take care of how they dress. I take care of how their hair looks. So these are most of the things what I devote my time to do. And today it has built their confidence, self-esteem to the extent that my daughter says those people that comes to bully her, they don't even come close to her again. Then the next one I will talk about is, like I said, any child you're bringing here, please make sure that you have a very good relationship with that child. If you don't have one, build one with that child. Because if you don't have it, when the child comes here, you might not have control over that child. Tell them that whatever happens in the house stays in the house. They are not allowed to take it outside the house. Make sure that you are abiding to it. Okay? Be an example for them. Then how do I combine my work, my studies, and with these children? My husband helps a lot. Before now, it was a struggle between both of us, but now he helps a lot. Let both of you talk about it, okay? There are things he helps me to do before I come home from work or before I come home from studies. Though now I've resigned because I could not put all these things together. Because if I do, it would have taken me away from them, or from I will not have this concentration. I decided to quit one because it's quite a lot for me. Okay, so you have to discuss with your spouse to know what he can be able to do for you before you get home from work or before you get home from your studies, because it will relieve you from so much stress. Okay, then when I get home from studies, I'll make sure that they eat. I'll make sure that I check their bags, the normal prep stuff. I'll do that and make sure that they do their assignments. That's another thing. Because all these things, when you don't do them well, you start receiving letters from the schools, their teachers, and that is how we call it here start. That is how they'll start putting eyes on the child, because the teacher is the first person that is going to write them letter that child is not properly taken care of, and that is where your challenges will start. Okay, so when you take care of that child to the extent that you never receive any letter from the teacher concerning her health, her looks, how troublesome or whatever, you have peace of mind that you will not have issues with the stats, okay? With the government, that is the start, we call them stats, so that they will not take away your children from you. Any child that you're not close to, before you bring that child here, please create a relationship not just a relationship, a good relationship, and be a very good or role model to this child to look up to be proud of. When he or she looks, you say, I'm proud that she is my mom, I'm proud that he is my dad. Okay, that is all I can say about this. And the overall all is God, because there are people that they are very good parents, yet when they put all these efforts, the children will not listen. So always bring these children to the presence of God. When you need them, ask God to take care of them for you. Ask God whatever that is not going well, it should help you so that they will improve on those areas. Okay? That is why I said there is no perfect parents anywhere, because there are some people that must have done all these things that I mentioned, yet they still face challenges. So this is where I'll be stopping. I don't know if what I've said have made sense or it is helpful. I don't know any other area you want me to talk about, but I'll be stopping here. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.